We'll begin in about 30 seconds. I call to order and welcome you to the Middletown, Ohio City Council meeting for Tuesday, July 21st, 2026. Please join me for a moment of meditation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the American flag. You will hear 3 taps of the gavel when it is time to stand. Please join me in a moment of meditation now. Clerk of Council, Mrs. Amy Skank, please call the attendance roll.
Mrs. Carter. Mr. West.
Here.
Mr. Mulligan.
Here.
Mayor Slamka.
Here.
Mr. Lawley.
Thank you. First this evening is a presentation of recognition. I invite Mr. Adam Hunter to the podium.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, council members, citizens of Middletown. My name is Adam Hunter, and I stand before you tonight as the president of Old Glory Retirement Foundation. I came to the podium with full heart, carrying a message of profound pride for our community. American flag is not just a piece of cloth. It is a living, breathing symbol of our republic. Every thread woven with the sacrifices of our veterans. Every red stripe is dyed with the blood of our fallen heroes. Every white stripe shines with the purity of their intent. And every star stands for a beacon of our liberty to the best for the rest of the world. When these flags have flown their final watch, when they are worn, faded, and tattered by the wind of time, they deserve more than just be thrown away. They deserve a final salute. Our foundation doesn't just burn flags. We conduct a sacred ritual. We return them to ash from which they came and return them to the soil of a great nation. I am deeply proud to announce tonight that this past weekend, Old Glory Retirement Foundation in the city of Middletown officially completed the burial of these ashes from the largest, most relevant single-day flag retirement ceremony in history. Every single banner has finished its watch right here on our home fronts. To etch Middletown's name into the history books of patriotism, we could not stand alone. A world record of this magnitude requires absolute truth, transparency, and unshakable integrity. Before the single flag could ever enter the ceremonial fire, we had to prove our numbers to the world with strict precision. 6 days prior to our 4th of July ceremony, we had an official count party. This is where the true foundational work of our record took place. We needed independent, trusted judges to oversee the grueling process and certify the exact number of the flags. That is why we are here tonight. This historic achievement belongs to our foundation, but the integrity of this record belongs to 3 public servants who stepped up to serve as our official independent count judges. First, I want to honor Fire Chief Brian Wright. Chief, your dedication to safety is well known, but 6 days prior to the fire was even lit, you gave a valuable time to sit with us and verify the physical inventory. Your presence as a judge guaranteed that our count process met highest standards of precision and organization. Thank you for ensuring our foundation stood on firm, verified path to history. Next, I want to recognize Detective Patrick Glassburn. Accuracy is cornerstone of law enforcement, and it was the cornerstone of this world record attempt Detective Glassburn brought to keen eye a trusted credibility of an investigator to our count party. Detective, your official signature as a judge ensured that the Middletown final numbers stood beyond reproach for generations to come. Thank you for your service. And finally, our mayor, Elizabeth Smonka. Mayor, leadership is about showing up where the hard work happens. By rolling up your sleeves and serving as an official judge at our count party, you send a powerful message to every veteran, first responder, and patriot in the region. You showed them that Middletown leadership personally stands behind the banner we fought for. Thank you for your time, your leadership, and for certifying this historic victory. Middletown is now an undisputed capital of American patriotism. We had laid the ashes to rest, and we have established our prominent home at Horsepower Farm, where the fire of remembrance will never go out. I invite you guys and the council to join us on September 11th for our next sacred gathering, Echoes of Honor, Beyond the Call, the 9/11 ceremony, as we retire the thin line flags for our local heroes. Chief Wright, Detective Glassburn, Mayor Slemka, thank you for your service in our judge and as our judges. Thank you for standing with our veterans, and may God forever bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hunter.
At this time, we would like to get a photo. We'd like to get a photo with the mayor and chief and detective.
Certainly. Where would you like it? Would you like it right here? Absolutely.
I'm going to take a short video, and if you can verify where your signature is on that document. Let me explain what I just did. Guinness decided they wanted to charge us an outrageous number. So we decided to do self-proclaimed. My PR director looked it up and looked at all the regulations and said, okay, we'll do self-proclaimed. Why a self-proclaimed versus a Guinness World Book of Records? We are celebrating 250 years of independence from England. Guess where Guinness is based out of? England. So where we were going to bring an Englishman to come over and judge a American record, we decided to do self-proclaimed. So thank you. one last thing. The official record was 17,169 American flags.
Thank you so much. Next, on our agenda this evening, we have a public hearing. However, since we created this agenda, we have been informed that the applicant has reached out to the city to withdraw their application. As a result, we will not hold the public hearing, and council will need to approve the applicant's request. As such, is there a motion to approve the applicant's request to withdraw the application for a map amendment for 3601 Town Boulevard?
Motion.
Is there a second? It has been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we will proceed to vote. Mrs. Skank, please call the roll.
Mr. West?
Yes.
Mr. Mulligan?
Yes.
Mayor Slanka?
Yes.
Mr. Lawley?
Yes.
Mrs. Carter?
The yeses have it, and the motion passes. The next item on the agenda this evening is citizen comments. A professional presentation free of foul language is expected. Speakers are encouraged to prepare remarks in advance to stay within the set time limits. Citizen comments is not the time for any debate, questions and answer, or any back and forth conversation with council or staff. This is a time for you, our residents, to be able to present in front of council on record, uninterrupted, and have the floor. Please note, after the meeting, your comment cards will be given to the city manager, and she will assign a member of staff to reply to you as appropriate. We have received 4 comment cards this evening. I will prompt each speaker for their next steps when they reach the podium. I would like to first call Mr. Sam Ashworth to the podium. And you may stand or sit according to your preference. Please adjust the microphone and speak directly into the microphone at all times. And before we begin, please state your full name and Middletown residence for the record. And then you will have 3.5 minutes of uninterrupted speech. Please commence.
Okay, I'll stand while I still can. Sam Ashworth, 1912 Antrim Court, Middletown. I'm here to speak about the Sorg Opera House, something that I have had some involvement with for many years. The first time I got involved with the Opera House was 1981, 45 years ago. We held a big celebration for the 90th anniversary of the building, and a lot of people in Middletown. We had a packed house. A lot of people had never been in the theater at all. And so it was something that we really were proud of. And it led to the formation of a group called Friends of the Sorg. So for the next 10 years or so, we staged different productions, small productions, because the stage was only about 6 to 8 feet long, because the movie screen was bolted to the floor at that time. So, but in spite of that, we had a lot of enthusiasm for the Opera House, and it eventually led to the Sorg Opera Company coming in from Richmond, and had a successful run of several years in the Opera House. So my involvement also included getting married on the stage of the Opera House in 1996. So I've got a personal a commitment to that. But I speak here tonight to show you my support for the Opera House. It is really the gem of Middletown. When the Opera House was really up and running, it not only provided entertainment of all different kinds throughout its years, but it was the cultural center of the town. It's where political speeches were made. It's where lots of people came to present their ideas about different things in the town, let alone all the entertainment that has served or that has performed on that stage for many, many years. And so our dream with Friends of the Sorg was that we would be able to someday see the Sorg again, having regular shows and so forth. Went through a difficult period at one time, but thanks to the dedication and volunteers coming forth, The SORG is now alive and well and has been for a number of years, and we really support them. So it's something that Middletown can really be proud of. Other cities do not have something like this. And so I stand here in support of the SORG Opera House. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ashworth. Next, I would like to invite Beth Yock to the podium, please. And you may also stand or sit according to your preference. Please adjust the microphone and speak directly into the microphone at all times. Before we begin, please state your full name and Middletown residence for the record. You will then have 3.5 minutes of uninterrupted speech. Please commence.
Elizabeth Yauk, 335 Rachel Lane, Middletown, Ohio. Madam Mayor, council members, good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. I'm here for a good reason, and that's the SORG. Many of you know me from many hats that I wear. Tonight I'm here as the attorney for the SORG. I, like everybody else that works for the SORG, do it pro bono. Never been paid a dime for anything that I've done for them. I do this because I care. The board and the volunteers for the SORG have worked tirelessly. They have taken an extremely dilapidated building, and project by project, it's turning it around. This is becoming, once again, a masterpiece. The current keepers of the SORG are following Paul J. Sorg's ethos and vision to make this a beautiful place to be. The SORG Theater has, for most of a century, stood not just as a building, it stood as a piece of our shared history. It has survived flood, fire, good owners, bad owners. It's where generations of our families have watched their first show, where local artists found a stage, and where our downtown has kept its character in a world that's too often trades historic landmarks for parking lots, or worse, dilapidated buildings, hollowed out vacant buildings. Once a building like this is gone, it's gone for good. We can't get it back. It would cost too much to get it back. This building is a gem that other communities wish they could have as a cornerstone of their downtown. But I'm not here just to talk about nostalgia. I'm here to talk about dollars and cents. This theater draws people well from beyond our city limits, from zip codes around the county, not just around the whole southwestern Ohio. When those people come here for the show, they often don't just buy the ticket for the show. They go across the street and have dinner beforehand. They go down the street and have a beer before or after. They patronize our establishments. Gravel Road brews beer, and that beer is served at the SORG. When people get married at the SORG, they often refer them to the Windermere to have a reception. That's how real economic activity happens. It flows directly to the local businesses, and they all depend on this foot traffic. This is small business enterprise in action. A modest financial contribution from the city isn't just an expense, but it is an investment for the acts of the future, for things to help this economic engine of our downtown work. Every dollar spent keeping the lights on at this theater helps generate dollars for the city of Middletown. We all know that the city, with the help of the county, with the help of the foundation, with the help of the Middletown, or the Butler County Finance Authority, is working hard to spur economic development in downtown. It's working hard behind the scenes to get things to happen. In the not-so-distant future, we'll see a top-notch park materialize. We'll see a much-beloved hotel be raised, but then we're going to see a new apartment complex with stores and restaurants appear like a phoenix emerging from the ashes. These venues are just a couple blocks away from our beautiful theater. Downtown proprietors, not just of the SORG, but everybody is being told, be patient, revitalization's coming. However, there is a financial cost for those proprietors to keep the doors open while being patient.
That is time. Thank you so much for your comments. If you'd like to email the rest of it to council, we'll appreciate that as well. Thank you. Next, I would like to invite Nancy Griffith to the podium. And you may also stand or sit according to your preference. Please do adjust the microphone and speak directly into the microphone at all times. Before we begin, please state your full name and Middletown address for the record. Then you will have 3.5 minutes of uninterrupted speech. Please commence.
My name's Nancy Griffith. The address is 63 South Main Street, Middletown, Ohio. Good evening, members of City Council and City Manager. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight on behalf of the Sorg Opera House. When people think of the Sorg, they often think of concerts, movies, theatrical performances, and a beautiful historic building. While entertainment is certainly an important part of what we offer, the Sorg is much more than a stage. It's also a place for learning, training, and strengthening our community. We believe historic buildings should not simply be preserved, but they should serve the people around them, and that's why we are proud to open our doors to opportunities to educate, prepare, and protect the citizens of Middletown. We especially value our partnerships with the men and women who work every day to keep our community safe. Our police officers, firefighters, first responders, and emergency personnel deserve opportunities to train in real-world settings. A historical building like the Sorg offers unusual spaces, multi-levels, balconies, backstage areas, narrow hallways, and other challenges that cannot be recreated in a traditional training facility. By training inside the Sorg, public safety professionals gain a valuable experience navigating complicated and unfamiliar environments. They can practice communication, coordination, emergency response, and safe movement through spaces that require quick thinking and teamwork. These lessons can help prepare them not only for emergencies at the Sorg, but for situations in other historic commercial or multi-level buildings throughout our city. Every time the Sorg hosts a training, educational program, community gathering, or public safety partnership, the building becomes more than an entertainment venue. It becomes a community resource. We are grateful for the continued support of the city, city council, our city manager, and the departments that serve our citizens. We look forward to building an even stronger partnerships with our police and fire department and with every organization working to make Middletown safe, stronger, and better prepared. The Sorg belongs to this community, and we want it to continue to serve Middletown in meaningful ways for generations to come, because beautiful things make better citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. I would now like to call Chris Pierce to the podium, please. You may stand or sit according to your preference. Before we begin, please state your full name and Middletown residence for the record. You will then have 3.5 minutes of uninterrupted speech. Please commence.
So my name is Christopher Pierce, and I suppose for most of my time, my address was Middletown High School. I have been an educator in Middletown City Schools for the better part of my career, 20 years. I am now an English teacher at Butler Tech, and I'm here to talk to you about some of the educational opportunities that the Sorg Opera House affords Middletown's.
I'm so sorry. Could you please verify your home address, please?
3023 Ash Court.
Thank you.
Yes.
Forgive me. Thank you.
For the last 4 years, students at Middletown High School have engaged in an opportunity to learn about the Sorg Opera House through performance and planning of a yearly program called Night of the Mighty Dead, where we show the 1968 classic Night of the Living Dead. They learn about the movie, but more importantly, they learn about their community through visiting the Sorg and volunteering their time to put on that event. As some of the speakers mentioned before, the Sorg is a resource that is unique to Middletown, Ohio, and is one that benefits everyone who lives here. And it is a great place to bring the next generation of scholars to learn about the unique history of this great community across hundreds of years. It's a wonderful place. I'm happy to volunteer there, and it's a great crew. I think that's all I've got to say.
Thank you very much. This concludes our public participation. The next agenda item is council comments. We will begin to my left with Councilmember Lawley, followed by Vice Mayor Carter, and then to my right with Councilmember West, followed by Councilmember Mulligan. I will speak last. Mr. Lawley?
Thank you, Mayor. I know it may sound cliche, but especially what we're going to hear tonight from the Sorg, it really is kind of an exciting time to be part of the progress in Middletown. Contrary to what some of us may read on social media, we really do have some incredible things going on in Middletown, all over Middletown. And I think what the Sorg's going to bring to us tonight is extremely important for the downtown development. As we've heard from Joshua Smith, the Butler County Finance Authority Director, you know, we have to start. We have to get things rolling. And I think it's important what we hear from the Sorg tonight is a very important part of that. All the way out to the east end with the development of the Renaissance project out there and the arena. We do know now that we have a letter of intent from the United States Hockey League to bring a franchise, a team, to the arena, which is incredibly awesome. That is essentially like 19 and 20-year-olds trying to break into Division I college or the NHL. Just incredible. And then in the heart of the city, you know, what Cleveland Cliffs wants to do in their $1 billion investment to taking steelmaking in Middletown into the future. So this is just an incredible time to be part of the development in Middletown. I thank our city manager and her staff for really doing the day-to-day work on these things, and I appreciate the previous councils and this council for continuing that development on. And as I said, it really is just an incredible time to be part of what's going on in Middletown. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Lally. Vice Mayor Carter.
Good evening. Like Paul says, we are rolling along. I attended a meet and greet last week for a new basketball team called the Maulers. And it's named after the rolling mill that was here in Middletown at one time. So I'm excited. I even volunteered our chief and his group, our fire chief and the chief of police to bring some in to play ball with them, to bring out some excitement. And I also like to congratulate our hometown heroes because they deserve it. And that's it.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Councilmember West.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank the SORG. I think the SORG it's obviously special for the history that it has and also the redevelopment, the current state that the SORG's in. But I think the people behind it are what make the SORG special, because that project, you know, for many years, there were many people that doubted that the SORG would ever have another show. And it was citizens that did it. So the persistence and dedication in that massive passion project, I think is special. Our downtown, let alone many downtowns, I don't think there's been a group of citizens anywhere that could replicate that, because that was a major, major feat. And it's one piece to downtown. For many years downtown, there have been, some times where it's had some success in the last 21 years since I've been here. But for the most part, downtown struggles because of its location, and we don't have a lot of residents downtown. And then, of course, you get tied up, like the Manchester, for example, was tied up with a previous developer for years while they took a close look at it. So a lot of times it feels like things are stalling, but I think downtown is gaining a lot of momentum. This was a big priority, not only for this council, but the previous council as well, to take a hard look at downtown. The East End's great. The East End, I think, will be something special. Like Councilman Lally said, the letter of intent from USHL, that's a huge deal. That's a huge deal. That's regional. It's a very talented league, and there are a lot of players that come out of the USHL and do make it into the NHL. But then the other piece of it as well is, ice hockey around here, it's gaining more and more momentum with youth leagues, and so that's going to inspire the next generation of kids to maybe pick up a hockey stick and play. So I'd just like to thank you guys. I look forward to hearing Mr. Horn's comments on the SORG here in a bit, but thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. West. Councilmember Mulligan.
Thank you, Mayor. I agree with everything that's been said previously. And just one comment to add, offer congratulations and thanks to the Ohio Challenge Balloon Festival organizers, volunteers, donors. Had the opportunity on Saturday to visit the Smith Park before the storms came in and just saw thousands of families really enjoying a great Saturday evening in Middletown. And I know Mother Nature this year wasn't necessarily our friend, but the team that put that together, Mr. David Pierce and so many others, the thousands of hours that went into that, from the city crews to his volunteers and the vendors and the patrons. So it really is a marquee event for Middletown, and look forward to them returning next year. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Mulligan. And I'll be speaking, of course, about some things coming up in the next couple of weeks here in Middletown. So if you want to be inspired by our incredible Middletown youth, join CBI's RISE program this Thursday, July 23rd, in celebrating a summer of learning, leadership, and growth at their end of summer student showcase. You will be energized and uplifted by what our students have accomplished. The showcase is from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. at Middletown High School's community room. Later that day, this Thursday, July 23rd at 6 p.m., join in at the Event Center of Middletown, located at 3907 Central Avenue, for the Community Open House Middletown Development Code Update meeting. Attendees will hear the latest from the Gibbons Planning Group and be able to offer feedback. This is the last public meeting in the group's process. Join Centerpoint Health for their annual Back to School Festival this Saturday, July 25th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at their building at 231 North Briel Boulevard. This free, family-friendly event is a great way to get ready for the school year while connecting with local resources and enjoying activities. Your child can get their school physical completed and also receive a free bag with hygiene essentials and school supplies. For more information, please call 513-318-1188. Also this Saturday, July 25th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. is the Thunderfest Cruise-In Car Show in downtown Middletown along Central Avenue between Main Street and Verity Parkway. If you love beautifully kept classic and current cars, trucks, boats, and motorcycles, this is the day for you. For more information, please visit downtownmiddletown.org. All are welcome to join the Youth Health Fair next Tuesday, July 28th from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. at our Sunny Hill Community Center, located at 800 Lafayette Avenue. Right in time for back to school, there will be physicals and immunizations for the children, and blood pressure, blood sugar, and cholesterol screenings for adults, plus tons of fun activities, vendors, and door prizes. Bring your bicycle for a bike rodeo presented by Kiwanis of Middletown, with free helmets, snacks, and giveaways. For more information, please visit our health department page at cityofmiddletown.org. If you are looking for something for your teens to do, Primetime Fieldhouse, located at 800 2nd Avenue, is hosting a free teen night next Tuesday, July 28th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. The entire facility will be available for open basketball, pickleball, and soccer, snacks, and games. This is a great way for teens to have something fun to do and socialize in a structured environment. For more information, please visit the calendar at downtownmiddletown.org. Saturday, August 1st from noon until 5 p.m., MOAM, or Middletown Open Air Market, is hosting Homegrown Harvest, a celebration of local food and the people who grow and make it. Located at 916 First Avenue, across from Gravel Road behind Main Street. Find more information at moamohio.com. Tuesday, August 4th is National Night Out. Our police go all out with a completely free, family-friendly event with food, games, music, vendors, resources, and so much more for the entire family. Located at Smith Park from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., please also be sure to stop by the fire and police booths, where you can provide feedback on your Middletown transportation concerns. This information will be used in the development of the Safe Streets for All Action Plan draft to come out at the end of the year. Your input matters and is much appreciated. We hope to see you there after the regular City Council meeting. Please save the date of Saturday, August 8th for Rafts and Crafts, a unique riverside experience made possible through the generous partnerships with Metro Parks of Butler County, Downtown Middletown, Inc., and Middletown Adventure Company, who are helping us highlight the beauty of our local waterways. For more information, please visit cityofmiddletown.org, hover over Residents, and click on City Events. Please save the date for Hops in the Hangar on Saturday, August 22nd. New this year is the City of Middletown's Air Show Tailgate. For more information, please visit cityofmiddletown.org, hover over Residents, and click on City Events. As a reminder, the City of Middletown accepts applications for our boards and commissions throughout the year, so if there is something that you have an interest in and you wish to give back to your city in this way, please do submit your application. To learn more, please visit the city's website at cityofmiddletown.org. Lastly, and as always, there are many ways to get involved with your community and give back. You can join a board or committee, run for office, apply for a job with the city, volunteer at the hospital, pick up trash in your neighborhood or park, plant a garden in your yard or balcony, smile at a neighbor, find joy and satisfaction for a job well done in whatever work you do, or just have a positive and giving attitude. Find something that you can do regularly to give back. We are all connected, and we are all in this together, as the care of our city is an adventure in which we all get to share. That is all for me tonight, and this concludes council comments. The next agenda item is City Manager reports. City Manager Ms. Ashley Combs, you have the floor.
Good evening. So tonight we have 3 presentations for you to consider. The first being the electric energy aggregation presentation by Rich Surace with Energy Alliances.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, City Manager. So it's time to start looking at your electric aggregation program again. We were here just about a year ago. It's already time to do it. So up to this point, since the city started its program back in December of 2023 and through May of this year, the city has saved a combined total of just shy of $4 million. So as through May, it was 3.9, but based off of the savings for this summer, with Duke at 10.7 cents and at the aggregation at 9.29, the savings is pretty tremendous, right now. So the program has been extremely successful for the city, and I think we want to continue to look at what's going to happen after December. But it's a tough energy environment right now. Right? I believe, did you get was a copy of the memo handed to the council?
Yes.
Okay. So I had shared a memo with some thoughts on where the market is right now. So there are sort of 2 things against all of us as energy users. One is the energy component, so that's what it costs somebody to generate the power and put it on the lines. And the other is what's called capacity. We talked about that quite a bit last year. So capacity, really at its finest, is the supply-demand. So there's significantly more demand on the system right now than there is supply. So as far as being, just all of us as consumers, obviously the buzzword right now are things like data centers putting demand, and we're just not seeing the supply from power plants that are out there. So those 2 things together are what are leading to significantly higher prices than what we've seen in previous years, and even what we're seeing now compared to a year ago. Unfortunately, it just continues to kind of tick up, and that would happen whether somebody was on the aggregation, it would happen with somebody who's with the utility. Even if you're out there shopping on your own, you're seeing the same thing, right? The prices now are significantly higher than they were just a year or 2 years ago. So we did go through the process of looking at rates, and that would be on the last page on what I had sent over. And right now they're ugly, right? And if they came in what they are right now, we would make the recommendation to the city to actually not keep the program going. But the nice thing is that we do have a couple months before anything has to happen. A contract would need to be signed by what's called the second week of October if we wanted to keep the program going. So, the reason we started this process early is, to allow the city manager to bring it to you and to, give you a couple months to kind of look it over and do some readings on it to say, do you want to give your city manager the authority again to sign a contract if we find a price that we like, right? That's the key thing is if we can find a price that we like between, I believe it's going to be put in front of you again in August, so between August and October, so 3 months at that point. For any reason we can't get to a price that we like, then we would make the recommendation to go back to Duke, right? For right now, we'll call that Plan B. But since I'm here, I'll talk a bit about Plan B and what that would mean if we go that far. It would just mean that your program would just come to an end in December, right? Anybody on the program at that point would just get sent back to Duke and pay Duke's default rates until we could find a price that we like. We likely would look to start it right back up again in the spring, but just the way Duke's rate structure is, starting it in December, if the price is not right, the amount of money that people would spend on the aggregation more than Duke for a couple of months, we would not make back up in time. So that's why we would say just pause it. That doesn't mean the city is not an aggregator. Being certified as an aggregator and having an aggregation program, 2 very separate things. They're separate process. So, we would just make the recommendation if we can find prices we like that you would pause the program. We've done that with multiple communities. We did it with more than 13 last summer. We've done with 5 this year. So again, we appreciate the trust that you've put in Energy Alliances to be your consultant on that. And we've proven to communities multiple times that if it's not the right decision for your residents, then we'll tell you not to do anything. So, again, still part of this, we still would like for you to eventually give your city manager the authority to sign something if we can get to a price that we like. And if not, then we'll look at Plan B, and then she would share that with you if we got to October and nothing has been done. And I will see if there are any questions.
Any questions from the council or comments? Just curious, is there any limit to how long the program can be paused?
No, there's not. Nope. So, we could pause it for 6 months, you could pause it for a year, there is no limit. And that's where staying certified as an aggregator, that's separate. So that process, we do that for you every 2 years. So, if we pause it for 6 months and say start it up again next spring, which I would highly recommend, we're just trying to avoid that potential for Duke during the winter months if we can't get the price low enough for it to start. But no limit.
Thank you very much. If there are no further questions, then we are complete. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next presentation will be by Scott Tadish, our Public Works Director, on an update regarding the railroad crossing wayfinding signage.
Before that, Ashley asked me to give a quick update on the paperboard gravel pile. So the contractor's on schedule to have that removed, excuse me, by the middle of next week. So they're made a lot of good progress out there. So just a quick update on the blocked railroad wayfinding signage project. So the signs have been manufactured. Looking to have our street maintenance crew install them starting next week. Probably take about a week for them to get those installed. We are waiting for delivery of communication equipment to activate the flashing lights when the railroad is blocked, as we discussed at the previous council meeting. Electronics maintenance staff has sourced most of the equipment. They will begin installation next week, but completion will be contingent upon when all the flashing beacon components are received. I'm hoping this takes 3 to 4 weeks at the longest, though. So the signs will be posted and effective, though, while we're still finalizing that installation of the flashing beacon equipment, though, as well. So,
Thank you so much. Are there any questions from council or comments? Once the electronics are received for the flashing lights, how long will it take for installment?
so we're doing it all in-house, so as long as something doesn't pop up, I think maybe a week.
Fantastic.
And in fact, they're going to do what they can even before everything is available. Some of the components they have already, they can sort of do some pre-work to make sure once we get it, we can get it on immediately. So,
Wonderful.
all right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And the last presentation this evening is an update from the Sorg Opera House. And I believe Mr. Paul Horn will give him that presentation.
This is new. So I'd like to thank, first of all, City Manager Combs for allowing us to do this presentation and also taking our request. And also thank you, Mayor and City Council. We opened this information, and I also felt very strongly that we need to give you an update from the OFCC project, and also all those who spoke. A lot of times when I was on the other side of your bench there, I would always encourage people to come here and speak. Emails are great, strongly worded letters are ignored, and calls are forgotten. But when you come here and you can hear my pitch, pace, and power and my passion of whatever topic I'm talking about, that gives it the public record, and you can see that people are happy or upset or concerned about something. Tonight we're happy because we're going to give you some good information about the Sorg. There we go. So what is the Sorg? Well, we are a group of volunteers that volunteer our time, and we are a economic driver and an entertainment venue. But there are three things that the Sorg is. It's history, it's the arts, and it's entertainment. So let's discuss history first. The Sorg is the last 19th century active business that is following the founders' business plan. This was before Armco. The history is so important that we even have our historical director write a book so you know of this history. He even inscribed it for me. I thought that's cool. You can go to the library and look up things on the Sorg. You can look at the photos from the past to see how this building has evolved over time, but still holding that history. Next is arts. We have music, we have plays, we have painting, we have photography. And the reason why we need art, these are great. These are our little electronic friends. Everyone needs to have one. But I feel at times, as I've always mentioned, that like the Middletown Arts Center is the fabric of Middletown, so is the SORG. It takes discipline to learn to play an instrument, be it for the Butler Philharmonic or to start your own group and play before a live venue. It takes effort to learn your lines to be in a play. We even have art nights where you can come to the SORG and paint. It just takes effort to do that, where technology can't do that, and that's what the SORG does. We even have photography. You have photographers that come in just to take pictures of the architecture because it is still here. We have photographers come in and do photo shoots because they utilize the architect. But everyone in this room can perform at the SORG this year, because during our holiday season, along with our movies and songs and plays and such, we're going to have Festivus for the rest of us. So for a small donation, you can come up on stage, write your own play by complaining about who bothered you or what bothered you the previous year. So now you can actually perform on our stage and you can write your own play. So how do we fund the SORG? This is our past business model. Kind of boring. I like this one better. So we start off, of course, with ticket sales and concerts. So when we have people there for our performances, we also want to make sure they're having a great adventure, great memories, and refreshments. So we have a concession stand on the first floor, and new this year we have what I call the balcony bar. So now you can have a refreshment and a snack while you enjoy the show. We appeal to our patrons, past patrons or new patrons, by sending out letters, just like I receive letters from the Cincinnati Art Museum, the ballet, the opera. It's just a simple request of, if you would like to donate, it's a tax write-off, we would appreciate it, so we send letters out for that. We also have community events, which is, as was brought out before, it's imperative that we are part of the community, so that you know that we're still here. Because a lot of times we get the comment of, you're still open? Yes, we're still open. That's why we have to be out in the community, being at Sounds of Sunset, being at Hops of the Hangar, having golf outings. So the citizens know that we are here. And then the last one is a new program that was established this year, and it's the 334 funding program. And this is a program that can be utilized by private citizens, by groups, and by private businesses. And what the 334 program is this. It's $3,000 this year, $3,000 next year, $4,000 the following year. The more groups that we get to participate with this, it makes it easier on our president because we know we have guaranteed revenue. Now, obviously, this is a revolving fund, so this time next year we'll be talking to these groups about after the $4,000 contribution. This was developed by Joshua Smith, and he's actually one of our contributors. But the more we get with that program, it makes it where we know that we have the funds available along with partnering with the city of Middletown. So who is our financial supporters? Well, we have the Middletown Community Foundation, we have the City of Middletown, First Financial Bank, Cleveland Cliffs Foundation, the 1891 Guild, South Main Historical Group, Marion J. Knoll Foundation, Hops in the Hangar, Sounds of Sunset, Highland Heights District, and of course our concert attendees and guests. But here, this is one of the more important ones to me, is the community partnerships. We are now the headquarters of the Middletown Lyric Theater. We have a working relationship with the Butler Philharmonic Orchestra. As brought out, we have the Middletown City Schools to show the future. There is interesting things to do in the arts. Reimagine Middletown, Community Building Institute, CBI, and Middletown Rotary, and Gravel Road Brewing Company. And I want to just discuss Gravel Road. In our new concession stand, which you'll see pictures of later, out of the 4 pools we have for draft beer, 2 of those pools are Gravel Road Brewery. So that shows that partnership where if they enjoy that, they might want to go across the street, see what other beers they have available. It's that community building, that revenue generation that we are doing at the SORG. So community-centered events. The first one, the 1891 series, which is being spearheaded by Larry Mulligan on our board, this is a kind of a cool event, and they're going to have more and more of them. What they do is they open up the SORG and on an evening, have concessions, you can have drinks there, there's tables available to sit down and just have conversation. And he played Coltrane jazz, and it just echoed through the whole SORG because they put it through the whole audio system. So we're going to have more of those events coming down the line. Just watch the schedule. Colonial Days at the SORG, that's just for us who are alive last century. That's the movies, because that's what it was called when it was then. Crafting with the Classics, that's the, again, on stage. We have painting, we have different types of crafts. And then this year, CBI's Middletown Rocks. That was a great event, and they actually received $80,000 to donate to our community center. And I thought that was just amazing that they use our venue every year for that. We also had the Rotary with the Doors concert as a fundraiser. And then we have the first year we have the golf batch. And that's going to probably become an annual event. Again, we're out in the community showing that. And then the last one, the Sounds of Sunset. So let's talk about some of our performances. This is a local talent, Scotty Bratcher, and I like the way our marketing did this. It just shows not only the performance, how many tickets he sold, but also we track, is it all Middletown people because he's a local talent? Yes, there were Middletown people there, but there's also people from outside and from 6 other states. Rhonda Vincent and the Rage, again, decent amount of folks showed up for the show, and then from 5 other states. This was our sold out in February, and everyone had a good time, 80s style hair bands. And 5 states were represented, and they want to come back. What's nice about a lot of our performers, they'll even ask, do you want us to come back or we want to come back? And yes, we do, especially when we can have that kind of event and people enjoying themselves. And lastly is the Cleverleys. And they actually won the contest here. They had 7 states that people came to come see them. And if you want to know what the Cleverleys are, they're our annual show, and they are a mix of comedy and country. I'll just leave it there where you can see what they're all about. This just shows that we are tracking what we say what we are doing, and it's the data that's inside your brochure. So here is the OFCC grant progress. So last year, the City Council partnered with the SORG for a promissory note for the deposits, and they had to do that for the OFCC to allow this project to go forward. So it just showed a partnership between us and the city. So here's some of the photos. Here's our new lobby, and we cannot get enough compliments on that. It looks amazing. It looks the way it should for a building that is as old as it is. It just is amazing that we have modern technologies. If you notice on the left-hand side, my left-hand side, those are LED screens, which will roll all the future performances. Last century, you saw posters. Now we have digitals that the kids like. And then on the other side of it, that's actually the history of the SORG, and it kind of gives a little rolling explanation while you're standing in line for your concessions. Here's our new concession stand. Now, those of us who enjoyed the Colonial way back when, you enjoyed the movie theater feel with the glass and you can see everything. Well, we needed to modernize it, clean it up, because it's not only a movie theater, it also shows performances and other things that I want to discuss when it comes to our future. So now we have a better concession stand thanks to the UFCC funding. This was the before and after of our downstairs area where the performers get ready. So we see it has a drop ceiling, LED lighting, and it's actually even more cleaned up than this. And then that is our commercial building roof. We have the theater and we have the commercial building roof. So now we are what I call dried in. We have a roof over the Sorg Theater that is less than 5 years old, and now we have a new theater over the commercial building. And that is imperative to keep a building alive. Water is not your friend, and it will destroy anything, especially something that is over 135 years old. So we have that. A few things that I didn't want to just keep doing pictures, but I just wanted to mention that the OFCC did. We also put, if you notice there on a performance, on the first floor and the balcony, we have LED lighting where the walkways are. Because when the performance is going on, they make the lights blue so that you're focused on the stage. But we still wanted safety where people could see. So we had that installed. If you're going up the stairs, you notice we have new lighting, and we actually have one of our chandeliers hanging on the balcony area. So what's next? So I did not want to do a drawing of a bathroom, so I'll just do a narrative. Our women's room is in desperate need of expansion. And fortunately, because we own the building, we can actually do the expansion. So with the women's room, what we want to do is 6 stalls, 2 ADA compliant, and then instead of having 1 wash basin for your hand, have 3 wash basins. And it'll just be a restroom. Right now, it looks like a nice museum, but it needs to be a bathroom. And that is probably #1 complaint. And at times, we've had to extend our intermissions because of lack of facilities. The next thing is the lounge, which I feel very passionate that we need to do. And this is a very, very, very preliminary drawing done by an electrician. So this would be, if you're looking at the Sorg, this would be the storefront on the left-hand side. An opening from the lobby would go in there. You have 2 additional restrooms, a bar, open area, and it even already has a little raised stage. And then we have a storefront where we can put more LED monitors. Now, what does this do? If you notice on our website, it says, please come to our shows, but when you come, go to concessions and go straight, because if you notice, the lobby kind of just directs you right to the stage or to the auditorium. It makes it where it can get a little congested when we have a sellout. So everyone's just going directly to their seat. This gives them an opportunity to peel off, to congregate, to come even a little early so they can enjoy the Sorg. Because obviously we'd have it decorated with history and such. With the stage, we can have an acoustical performer to just perform before the performance. But that's not the only reason I'm passionate about this. We can use this for other things. The Sorg has a very unique audio visual system, and we have a sound engineer. This would be likened to the Taft, because I've seen their system, and ours is as good as the Taft. People can have their corporate events with nice seating, a stage, a screen behind them where they can have content, and here, that when they take their lunch break, they can have catering put in this lobby area. Also, it's been mentioned that folks want to have movies, and the local comic book store would like to have a Comic-Con and other events we can have within this lounge. It's just something that we need to have, and we are working, hopefully we get more OFCC money this year or other ways to get these things funded. But this is what the future looks like. So why now? Well, again, as has been mentioned, the development of the downtown area is starting. But here's what we contribute now. We are an absolute driver of revenue for the city of Middletown through the SBEs, be it the restaurants or the bars. And data's great. I rather see things with my eyes. I've been to the Squire Inn, Gravel Road, Bourbon Kitchen, Broken Barrel on performance night. And they are packed, not just because it's Friday night. I noticed that they have a Doors t-shirt, or they look like they're going to a performance. And that is not as close to the Sorg as others. And I'm sure the franchises get their part and everything. But we do that now. So what about the future? Well, we will be the entertainment of your investment, your $15 million investment made by the City of Middletown, the Middletown Community Foundation, and the Butler County Finance Authority. All these other cities that are doing what we want to do, they will come live here as long as they have a place to live, modern, a park, retail, and entertainment. We will be that entertainment, and we will continue to help those SBEs continue to grow or sustain themselves until that dream comes to fruition. So I did issue a request to City Manager Combs for a donation of $50,000 for our operation costs. That's what I humbly ask of City Council, is for operational costs. Any questions?
Can you just elaborate for everybody a little bit what you mean by operational cost?
We have a commercial building, and when you have commercial equipment, as long as you maintain it, it lasts as long as the manufacturer recommended lifespan. But at times when you are a nonprofit and you have limited resources, you don't get to buy brand new. So you have to buy slightly used, and then you have to get it repaired. Now, once it's repaired and then we maintain it, that's why I believe they brought me on board with my construction background and my commercial background. We are in the process of doing that more and more and more, of getting commercial equipment installed versus residential. Residential equipment will work, but here's the problem with that. When you have an event, you're running that like if you had in your home, you ran your furnace at full blast for all night and all day and for a week, and then wonder why the motor is starting to lack, because it's not built for that. We are converting to making sure that everything is commercially rated, and that then once we have these things repaired, then we are making sure that annual maintenance is done by those professionals who install it. I will not work on an HVAC unit. I will work on lights, I will work on circuitry, I will work on panels, but we will make sure that these maintenance costs are given to the people who know exactly what they're doing, and that is not any reflection of the past, it's what you have to work with funds-wise. Because one thing I want to say, side point, is that our president makes sure that your ability to see a show at the Sorg is economically feasible in these very difficult times. Even what we charge for concessions. People will say, is that all? It's like, we take tips, and it goes back into the fund. But that is why they brought me on board, Paul, Councilman Lawley, is because I'm going to make sure that the commercial portion of this does that. And it's an ongoing process, because we have a building that is over 135 years old, but that's why it's imperative that we get it dried in, and we are dried in, because water can do a lot more damage than we will ever see. So this is not for aesthetics, this is for maintenance. And the cost of electricity, the cost of water, because we are at commercial rates, we are not at residential rates. Hope that answered your question.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions from council?
Thank you for the update, Mr. Horn. The lounge area that you referenced, is there a timetable on that?
It's funding. Right now, preliminary budgets on that is about $250,000. And what it's going to be is it'll be a reflection of the lobby, meaning same flooring, same drop ceiling, but because it's a new space, it'll have to have electrical brought into it. It'll have to have its own separate HVAC commercial system brought into it. And then in the bar, if you notice, if I operate this right, got it. There's a little dot. Okay, this area right here, that's going to be plumbed in, and those will be permanent 3 sinks as per the health director's request. So we're still in process of that. And do this again. The men's restroom plumbing is right here. We have a basement down in here, so we can actually tie into those and get these new restrooms on board, which will also decompress the issues of the men's room, women's room. But there's no timetable until we know the OFCC says, hey, we have this much for you this year. And if not, then it's just me and the board going to groups and saying, this is the kind of funding we need. How can we work with you? How can we partner with you? You've seen the list of the folks that we've had in the past. We're going to have more conversations because, as you can tell, this is something that is part of Middletown.
So, Paul, the 50,000 you're asking the city for, so what will the other contribute? Will they also contribute 50,000 each? You can go back to the...
Hold on.
Because I heard you say something about...
Yep, the 334 plan there, Madam Vice Mayor. All right, hold on. Thought I had it. Okay, now I'm really messing it up. Oop, let me go back. Hold on, I'm sorry. There it is. So at the bottom there, the 334 program, I'm going to groups, I'm going to individual citizens who say they want to contribute, and I'm going to private businesses, private money, and trying to get that 334 plan, which is $10,000 over 3 years. If I can get 20 people, that would be great. If I can get 40 people, that even makes it better. But right now, we're at the beginning process of this. So I'm not getting anyone, to answer your question, I'm not getting a big hospital on the east side saying we will match whatever the city is going to give you. So I'm not getting any matches right now. But offering them that program, it's feasible. Or they might say, no, we give this much, or you have to fill out this form and we will give a grant. Like, I'll give you an example, Miami Valley Casino. They have a form and you fill it out and you give them the request and you tell them what it's for. And then they decide whether they're going to partner with you or not. So I can ask them for $5,000, I can ask them for $100,000 and just tell them it's for used to support our season from Labor Day to Memorial Day. And they will say yes, like they do with the City of Lebanon, or they'll say no. So me and the board are actively trying to find all funding possible, but we also need that help from the City of Middletown and proven that we are a revenue generator, which has not been disputed yet of no, you're not. So that's why we're asking for that funding, just like Middletown Arts Center asks for funding annually.
So one thing, question for the city manager. Where would we have sufficient funds to pull this from if we decide to grant their request?
We do have sufficient funds in the Civic Development Fund.
Which we've used the Civic Development Fund for other like requests, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. So as I said earlier in my council comments, I really think this is a very important and integral part of the downtown development. And, as we've had discussions with Joshua Smith and the Butler County Finance Authority and how the SORG works in with the whole plan for the downtown, and now that the Historic Commission has moved forward with the vote on the demolition of the SORG and the Sunshine Building, things are going to start moving pretty fast down there. So I would really like us to be in a position where this part of the downtown is done and ready to go when we see the development at that site come to fruition. So, I mean, I'd really pretty much like to cut to the chase and make a resolution that we grant the SORG their request and fund them with $50,000. however the law department can word that for us here.
Yes, what would be necessary if we'll continue discussing it, and but if we do grant it, what would anything be necessary, or since it's under the $100,000, is there anything that we need to do as a council? Any action we need to take?
Thank you, Mayor. I'm just looking at the legislation we passed for the prior loan that we provided.
Well, that was a lot. That was over when the $100,000 mark for the city manager, I believe.
Not certain if it was, but
believe it
give me one second. I think that we
Certainly.
can follow a similar
Did you-
or at least or a motion would be sufficient. Just give me 1 second to look at it.
Did you have a question while he's looking for that?
Yeah, one thing too, I think, it's up to council to, decide whether or not we're going to financially assist them with this. And I pretty much think between city staff and the SORG, they can kind of iron out the agreement and what that looks like on a day-to-day basis, because staff deals with it on a day-to-day basis, and I'm sure we'd want some things in there and that protect the city and some assurances from the SORG about meeting certain benchmarks and whatnot. But once again, I just think this is very important in the overall development of downtown. And one thing that struck me that was even really very interesting, and I know a lot of people, and rightly so, have been upset at the decision for the loss of history of the Manchester building, but I've heard several times this is 135-year-old, and we're preserving it. We found a building that we can preserve, and this is what it takes to reserve that part of Middletown's history. So that's why I'm very much in favor of granting the SORG their request.
Yes, Mr. Horn?
Just one point on the OFCC promissory note between the city and the SORG. What that is they make you participate, meaning that $80,000 we didn't have. It's the best way I can describe it is when you have a contract in construction. Before you get your last 10%, which is called retainage, there are things that you have to do. We have completed all the OFCC project. So now it's up to our president and the OFCC to just return the funds to the city. And we appreciate the interest-free promissory note on that. But it's not like we're not going to come to you for 50 when we owe you 80. So that was the agreement that we had, was that the $80,000 is, we had to provide that for the deposits of our contractors for them to proceed forward. So it was already baked in the cake of their numbers. So if their number was $100,000 and they said, well, we need 20 grand for deposit, your funds helped us give them that. But the OFCC still paid them their 100 grand. Hopefully that makes sense. Does that make sense, Councilor?
Yes.
Okay, so that's coming because now we're complete, and I think it's due in August, and our president is working with the OFCC on that to return the funds to you, which we greatly appreciate. And just to know, if we do get OFCC funds, I will be the construction manager. I will attempt to get their minds right on maybe they don't need deposits, since I don't need deposits, but if that's the case where we have to get deposits, I will come back and we'll just have the same contract or promissory note again. But the project has to be completely complete, and we have to send everything to the OFCC. And that's the contractor saying, I'm done and I've been paid. It's like a mechanic's lien.
Okay, thank you. And I believe our Assistant Law Director, Mr. Hemingway, has some information for us.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I think it could be done via a simple motion to approve a donation to the SORG Opera House in the amount of $50,000 through the Civic Development Fund, and then to direct the city manager to take any actions necessary to effectuate the donation.
Motion?
I'm sorry, Councilman, if we could just pause a second. I don't want to spoil the momentum, and I think I'm generally supportive of this, but here we are again, 4 or 5 months later, and I brought this up when Middletown Arts Center brought their request. I mean, we are not a community foundation. When organizations, well-intentioned, come to the city asking for funds, I understand why, but we're not a foundation. We're not a community foundation. So I would rather have something that we could hang our hat on that says this is how it benefits the city employees, or this is how the city is going to use the SORG. I'd rather see something in black and white that says this is the benefit that our city gets from the contribution. I know that was done with the Middletown Arts Center, where there's certain employee benefits that are offered, and there are other organizations, again, very worthwhile. I'm generally supportive of the concept, but if it's taxpayer funds, we have to look at it a little bit differently. And I appreciate organizations, and I don't want this to take away in any way from the devoted volunteers and your private donors that come forward, but this is a little bit different. I'd just like to take a pause and see if we could have some items on paper before we commit dollars to it. Or maybe council can outvote me and you feel differently, but that's sort of where I am.
I think that's a fair statement. And one of the things I see with the SORG, everything that was said tonight, especially about what it's bringing to downtown, the entertainment, it's also one of the points of the city is for the well-being of the residents. This contributes to that well-being because it is driving the downtown. And whenever we speak to residents, they want to see the downtown succeed. So I'm comfortable with the expenditure of these funds because it's something the residents want. And it does add to I believe, the well-being of the city. But I also understand what Mr. Mulligan is saying. If we want to take a pause and write something up formally, we could do that. Perhaps look at that for the next meeting. Would that suffice? What you were saying, to have something in writing?
Again, I'm one vote on council, but that's my concern. I've raised it before. I just would like to see some more organization. Again, organizations will come to the city asking for financial support. Every one of them that we've seen is worthwhile, and none more than the SORG. So I'm supportive of the concept. You can count on my support for that. I would just like to see it more organized in a document about what the city receives in exchange for the donation.
In that case, would that be amenable to the rest of council to have something written up for the next meeting? What does council think?
So I have a few comments on this, and Mr. Horn, thank you for coming back to your favorite place and representing the SORG. So I completely understand where Mr. Mulligan is coming from. There are many organizations in and around the city that approach the city manager and city council looking for one way, shape, or form, funding in support of their mission. I get it, but I think part of it is there are a lot of cities around us that do support their own institutions within their city limits or their township limits. I personally don't have an issue with organizations coming to the city, approaching the city. I think a lot of times, and there have been some other organizations that have come to the city, and we've taken a close look at it, and sometimes their ask might be a bit heavier than I'm comfortable with, or they may ask for something that wasn't provided in previous years, and they're trying to stack it onto a current year, and I've argued against that point many times. For me personally, where the SORG stands out a bit differently than any other organization in the city of Middletown is, for many years, there wasn't support outside of the small group of volunteers that went out, and they have a proven track record of fundraising and partnering with communities and businesses. They've been a staple downtown. And while, yes, I think, sometimes we could look and say, well, is there something in it for city employees? No offense to the city employees, but 99% of the taxpayers in the city of Middletown are not a city employee. So if we're going to talk about taxpayer dollars and giving a benefit to city employees, of which many city employees don't even live in the city of Middletown, I would not care if that's written into any such agreement. I don't see that as a stipulation on whether or not we would support this funding. I do. I mean, the SORG has my support. I think everything that we've seen over the years with this organization and the folks that stand behind the SORG. Again, they have proven themselves. They have been very transparent with, the challenges, the current projects, and just like what Mr. Horn has done here tonight. I mean, I think the SORG has been here. Nancy, you've been here a lot, it seems like, many times. So you're here as much, you can take my seat in a year and a half. No, but, so I think, while, yes, there could be some stipulations in there, I personally wouldn't care if there was a city employee stipulation, for example. So I would be in favor of making a motion to allow the city manager to enter into an agreement with the SORG of $50,000 from the Civic Development Fund.
I agree with Councilman Mulligan. It's like we're throwing a vote on the floor. It's like we're making a decision here on the floor. Here, decide this right now. I don't see that as being productive for us. I think that we need to discuss this a little more. I want the SORG here. I'd love to see Michael at the SORG, but I also, because we don't have a movie theater, and so I'm for it, but I think we need to discuss it instead of just jumping and say, okay, yeah, we'll give this right now. I agree with Councilman Mulligan that we need to discuss this.
Yeah, which is not to say that support is not forthcoming.
Right,
I think it's just to say that I would like to see a little bit more from staff on it.
Oh, yeah, I had a question for you as well.
Mr. Mulligan, just expound to me what you want to hear that you haven't already heard, that we are not serving our citizens and doing great things for our small business entities. And because I'm confused, because we continue to do this for free. You have a lawyer, you have businessmen, you have a master electrician that's doing all this for free. And his comment about how's this benefiting our citizens? It's helping with the well-being of our citizens, so when they're having life hit them, we don't charge them $65 to $100 to see a show. We charge them $25. When a fundraiser like CBI needs a venue that has professional audio and visual and an engineering tech, we host them, and they get $80,000 to put to the community center. So I'm confused on what exactly, I don't care if we do writing, we have a lawyer, we can review a document, that's not a problem, but I would like to know tonight what exactly we are not doing for our citizens that we have not proven beyond a shadow of a doubt. Mr. Mulligan.
Okay, well, I'm not here to answer questions tonight, but my sentiments just simply had to do with a months-long concern about, again, very worthy nonprofits coming to the city for funding. And it's a little bit different when you're dealing with taxpayer money as opposed to a private foundation or a private donor. Therefore, I would like to just examine what the cost and benefit would be for the city. If there are any events that the city would hold there, for example, similar to what we did for the Middletown Arts Center. Again, it was not in any way to impugn the devoted, and I think I said this, no way impugning the devotion and the support that you get from your volunteer and your legion of volunteers. It was simply just to get some more information on what the benefits are.
And that's why I appreciate that you did respond to my question. And let me be very straight. $50,000 for my little itty-bitty company is a lot of money. So I understand it's a big ask, but we have a commercial building that has commercial maintenance, commercial upkeep. This is not, and again, like your energy person that came here and had a conversation, we're not paying those rates. We're paying commercial rates, and that's where Duke Energy, Zoom Energy, whoever energy you use, That's where they make their money, is on commercial rates. So we are paying commercial rates for a three-phase system into our building. So this is not to take $50,000 and run. This is to continue what we're trying to do to serve our citizens. So I don't mind a detailed breakdown of this is $50,000 and this is our expectations. That's not a problem at all. I just want to be clear that we are here to serve our citizens as Paul Sorg started this mission for us.
I have a question as well. First, I want to say it sounds like a council is very agreeable to this, and my question is about timing. I also think a short pause and having something written up would be a good idea, a good precedent. We can look at the MAC agreement as a precedent as well. Does the August 4th first reading, does that work for the SORG?
Absolutely.
Okay.
This is not a hurry up
Okay.
emergency like we used to do when I was here. No, this is just I want this process to continue, because as I always said, because Mr. West said we never know what Paul was going to say, government has two speeds. If you don't like the first one, you're going to hate the second one. And that's all I'm trying to avoid. So I have no problem with process. I have no problem with documentation. I have no problem with conversation between our city manager and the president of the SORG. I just want to make sure the process continues to go forward, and I appreciate that all of you are in agreement that the SORG needs your support, but you want some guardrails to make sure that this is not just another group saying, give us a check, we'll see you later. I understand that, Councilman.
Okay, thank you. So at this point then, if everybody's in agreement, it sounds like we have at least 3 people. Does that work for everyone to have something written up for the next council meeting? That works for me.
If the SORG can live with that, I'm fine with that. I mean, I think it's elementary that we're going to come back in 2 weeks and say, oh, wow, that's a great agreement we have with MAC. Let's do the same thing now. We're just prolonging this 2 weeks. I mean,
Respectfully, is it okay if we go through the due process and we know what we're voting on, Councilman?
Right.
I mean,
that's fine.
I think that's fair.
You, Joe, had a right to your opinion. Okay. Thank you for letting me have the right to my opinion.
Okay. So with that,
I appreciate that.
So with that, I want to thank council and thank you, Mr. Horn.
Appreciate it.
But you may, yes, thank you.
Thank you all.
And then City Manager Combs, if we could have that prepared for the August 4th meeting, so that we can review it. And if it's a first reading, if it's an emergency, I guess that can be discussed with staff.
Absolutely. Happy to do it.
Thank you. Is there anything else that you'd like to say under City Manager reports?
That's all from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, so that concludes City Manager reports. Next on the consent is the consent agenda. While the consent agenda is generally for consensus items, do any council members wish to remove anything from the consent agenda this evening and move it to the motion agenda? Okay, hearing none, we will proceed. Mrs. Skank, please present the consent agenda.
For your consideration this evening, we have the approval of the City Council minutes of July 7th, 2026, to confirm the appointment of Ryan Myers to the position of firefighter-paramedic in the Department of Public Safety, Division of Fire, to confirm the appointment of Jacob Adams to the position of firefighter-paramedic in the Division of Public Safety, Division of Fire, to confirm the appointment of Brock Heidman to the position of firefighter-paramedic in the Department of Public Safety, Division of Fire, to confirm the appointment of Zachary Pingleton to the position of firefighter-paramedic in the Department of Public Safety, Division of Fire, to confirm the appointment of Jay Mikesell to the position of firefighter-paramedic in the Department of Public Safety, Division of Fire, to confirm the conditional appointments of Braden Bowell and Brett Cole to position of firefighter EMT in the Department of Public Safety, Division of Fire, to confirm the conditional appointment of Emily Powell to the position of Code Specialist in the Community and Economic Development Department, to confirm the conditional appointment of Kamari Fuller to the position of Patrol Officer in the Department of Public Safety, Division of Police, to confirm the conditional appointment of Yolanda Ramirez to the position of Corrections Officer in the Department of Public Safety, Division of Police, to confirm the conditional appointment of Spencer Schmidt to the position of Patrol Officer in the Department of Public Safety, Division of Police, to receive and file oaths of office for Matthew Clayton, Tyler Dilbeck, and Sidney Harlow, to approve the final plat for the Atticus Plan Development, to approve the final plat for Section 3 of Heritage Landing.
Thank you, Mrs. Skank. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
It has been properly moved and seconded to accept the consent agenda. We will proceed to vote. Mrs. Skank, please call the roll.
Mayor Slanka?
Yes.
Mr. Lawley?
Yes.
Mrs. Carter?
Yes.
Mr. West?
Yes.
Mr. Mulligan?
Yes.
The yeses have it, and the motion passes. The consent agenda is approved. The next agenda item this evening is the motion agenda. We have one item this evening. Mrs. Skank, please present item A on the motion agenda.
To authorize the city manager to accept a $10,000 grant from the Energy Transfer First Responder Fund for the Division of Fire.
Thank you. Ms. Combs, staff report, please.
The Hazmat 81 team in Middletown currently has outdated decontamination equipment that is over 20 years old. The ZoomRow system can be deployed in under 2 minutes, enhancing our emergency response and safety. The total cost is $14,179.81, with $10,000 from a grant and $4,179.81 from the fire operations budget.
Thank you, Ms. Combs. Do I have a motion to approve item A to authorize the city manager to accept a $10,000 grant from the Energy Transfer First Responder Fund for the Division of Fire?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Having been properly moved and seconded, is there any discussion? All right, hearing none, we will proceed to vote. Mrs. Skank, please call the roll.
Mr. Lawley?
Yes.
Mrs. Carter?
Yes.
Mr. West?
Yes.
Mr. Mulligan?
Yes.
Mayor Slanka?
Yes. The yeses have it, and the motion passes. This concludes the motion agenda. At this time, I would usually take a break, but I believe we can move through the rest of the meeting fairly quickly. So we will continue. The next item on the agenda is legislation. We have 3 items of legislation this evening. Assistant Law Director, Mr. Jack Hemingway, the legislation, please.
Thank you, Mayor. First, we have ordinance number 2026-42, an ordinance authorizing all actions necessary to renegotiate the rate for the governmental electric aggregation program and declaring an emergency. No action is being requested until August 4th.
Thank you. Ms. Combs, the staff report, please.
I have nothing further to add from Mr. Surace's presentation.
Certainly, thank you. As this is a second reading emergency, there is no action to be taken at this time. However, is there any discussion from council? All right, hearing none, we will proceed. Mr. Hemingway, the next item, please.
Second, we have ordinance number 2026-43, an ordinance denying a request to vacate a portion of Miller Road. This is a first reading.
Thank you. Ms. Combs, do you have a staff report?
I don't have anything further to add from the presentation by Ms. Fetters.
Okay, thank you very much. Again, as this is a first reading, there's no action to be taken at this time. However, is there any discussion from council? Hearing none, we will continue. Mr. Hemingway, the last item, please.
Resolution number 2026-19, a resolution to make adjustments in to appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Middletown, Counties of Butler and Warren, State of Ohio, for the period ending December 31, 2026. This relates to the Police Grant Fund DART grant, and this is a first reading.
Thank you. Ms. Combs, do you have anything to add?
Yes, a staff report. The City of Middletown has received a grant of $42,635.84 from the Ohio Attorney General's Office, requiring no matching funds. These funds will be used from July 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2027 to cover overtime costs for the Quick Response Team, QRT, and outreach efforts. The program includes a community coordinator, a police officer, and fire personnel who assist individuals affected by overdoses and those that are struggling with addiction and homelessness.
Thank you very much. Again, as this is a first reading, there's no discussion, or there's no action to be taken at this time. However, is there any discussion from council? No. All right, hearing none, this concludes the legislation for the evening. The next item on the agenda is unfinished business. Do any council members have anything they would like to present under unfinished business? Hearing none, this concludes unfinished business. Next item on the agenda is new business. Do any council members have any news business that they would like to present this evening? Oh, all right. City Manager Combs, I was wondering if we might have a report on the multi-family housing in Middletown. I'd like to know where we are currently as compared to what our housing study said that we needed. Would that be possible to have that report done?
Yes, we anticipate to have that done at the next council meeting.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is there any other new business from council? All right, hearing none, this concludes new business as well.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. The next council meeting is National Night Out.
Correct.
We
Good point.
decide what we were going to do.
So Mr. Lawley is speaking to there was a question put to council if we could start early on the next council meeting, August 4th, because that is National Night Out, so that council could also, and everybody else could also go enjoy the evening. So the question was put to council if we could start at 4, 4:30, 5 o'clock. What are your thoughts? It seems it's going to be a very heavy legislation meeting, a presentation meeting. What are the thoughts from staff about how much time we might need?
What time does National Night Out start?
5.
5.
And it goes until, I think, 9, but really people start packing up around 8, 8:15. So what are the thoughts? What does 4 o'clock, 4:30?
Let's say I had sent council an email asking, would 4 o'clock be amenable?
Does 4 o'clock on Tuesday, August 4th work for council?
I could make it.
It works for me. Mrs. Carter? Mr. Mulligan? Yeah.
Yes.
Mrs. Carter? Yes. So we will certainly have that announcement made as well, that our next council meeting on August 4th will begin at 4 p.m. in case anybody wishes to speak.
Great.
What we'll need you to do then is to call a special meeting for the purpose of regular business.
Okay. So that's what we'll do. And I'll go ahead and send that to you
Yes.
via email. Okay.
Yes.
Will we be here?
Yes, we will actually be in council chambers for August 4th. It's August 18th that we're going to be at the community center.
We used to do them at the National Night Out in the parks.
Yep. And that was the reason we came back. So, yes. All right. Well, thank you for bringing that up, Mr. Lally. Is there anything else under new business? All right. Thank you. Okay. Well, then hearing none, that concludes our new business for the evening. And now, let me get out the agenda here. The next item on the agenda is our executive session. Do I hear a motion to move to executive session under the authority of ORC 121.22G1 to consider the appointment, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official?
So moved for adoption.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
It has been properly moved and seconded to move to executive session. We will proceed to vote. Mrs. Skank, please call the roll.
Mrs. Carter?
Yes.
Mr. West?
Yes.
Mr. Mulligan?
Yes.
Mayor Slanka?
Yes.
Mr. Lawley?
Yes.
Yeses have it. Council will now move to executive session. we have a motion to return to open session?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
It has been properly moved and seconded to return to open session. We will proceed to vote. Mrs. Skank, please call the roll.
Mr. West?
Yes.
Mr. Mulligan?
Yes.
Mayor Slanka?
Yes.
Mr. Lawley?
Yes.
Mrs. Carter?
Yes.
Yeses have it, the motion passes. Council will now return to open session. The BCRTA, or Butler County Regional Transit Authority Board, has extended the opportunity to Middletown City Council to endorse a candidate to sit on their board. Vice Mayor Carter has volunteered to fill this role. Is there a motion to endorse Vice Mayor Carter for the BCRTA Board?
Motion?
Do we have a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? I just want to thank you, Vice Mayor, for volunteering. And seeing no more discussion, we will proceed to vote. Mrs. Skank, please call the roll.
Mr. Mulligan?
Yes.
Mayor Slanka?
Yes.
Mr. Lawley?
Yes.
Mrs. Carter?
Yes.
Mr. West?
Yes.
The yeses have it, the motion passes. Again, thank you, Mrs. Carter. And with that, at 7:25, this concludes our regular city council meeting for Middletown, Ohio on July 21st. The next meeting will be Tuesday, August 4th, 2026 at 5:30 p.m. in these chambers for our next regular city council meeting. Thank you and good night.
Good night.